Hello, Kira-Dhan. How are you?
Kapasi, Marina. Very
How
well,
are-
very well, thank you.
Yeah. So it's night there. It's light.
Hello
here.
from.
So I have my first Turkish coffee.
Yeah, hello from Sydney.
Do you
Hello
still
from
drink
Sydney,
Turkish
Australia.
coffee?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I have it all. I have it all in the cupboard here, the whole kit to share with friends and family.
You have the gezme?
I do. Mhm.
You speak Macedonian little bit, Ken, or
No,
no?
no, I don't.
But some few words.
I picked up a few words in my travels.
Okay, so welcome. I'm very honored to be with you this evening and this day for me, with you. And I heard a lot about you, and I'm very excited to talk about your life and your professional and also private, what you do in your daily life. And I start with this conversation with your name, Kira-Dhan.
Kira-Dhan, that's correct,
Yeah.
Marina.
And what that means, I find out, it's a man on fire. That means.
So dramatic. Men with fire.
Yeah, and with
Men
passion
with
and
fire.
drive. With passion.
Yeah. Well, it comes from the Cubby Cubby Nation of Southeast Queensland in Australia.
Yeah.
And it was gifted to me by my uncle in an Aboriginal ceremonial context, and it comes with responsibilities. So, you know, it's a word that comes from our traditional language. It means men with fire, and that has responsibility, that has passion, it has purpose, it has meaning, as well as sounding a little bit dramatic, I guess. You know, like Denzel Washington, you know that movie Man on Fire?
Yeah. I find that on
a little bit like that.
On internet is said man on fire, not man with fire. So that was also interesting.
I need to change that if that's the case.
Yeah. Yeah. But are you like that? Are you passionate? Are you living with a purpose? Do you have your mission? Is that true, the name?
That's very true. I'm living to the definition, I believe. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, without a doubt.
Yeah.
Yep.
And what about your other name, Ken?
Kenny, Kide, right? Kide Zulumovski.
Yeah, Kira Zulumovski.
Hmm.
And Zulumovski, I also find out what that name means. Let me read a little bit. Zulumovski means seriousness, intuition, intent, and wisdom.
Wow, where did you get that definition from?
Google knows everything.
Google.
And also said, a man with the name Zulumovski is a very spiritual person who often relies on intuition. Is that true?
I feel like I'm having my my tarot cards read now. Well, the definition that I know comes from our family history, Marina.
Yes.
And there's a long story about how we got the name Zulum. And obviously Zulum is a Turkish word, you know. You might know that it means to resist authority in Turkish. And the way that we got that name is, you know, if you go back in our family history, 4 or 5 generations, there was the Turkish Ottoman occupation of Macedonia and of Eastern Europe.
Yes. And from which area in Macedonia?
Bitola, Srpci, my family. And our family, my great grandfathers, there was one family, 5 boys and 2 girls, and all 5 men died with honor fighting the Turks. Ugh!
Yeah.
And the two girls, the 2 sisters, one of them was beautiful. She was famous for being so beautiful, and she was almost like a celebrity around the villages. People would, you know, throw parties and lavish parties and announce whenever she was visiting, she was a kind of celebrity. So we get the name Zulum from that that part of history, you know, fighting for resisting authority, resisting the occupation.
Yes, yes. And how far you can go in your family tree? How far?
Well, on my Macedonian side, I can go back 3 or 4 generations. Wow. On the Aboriginal side, on the First Nations side, you know, the first peoples of Australia, I can go back 7 generations.
Wow, amazing, eh? So beautiful. And because all of them you exist, so miracle, eh? And
yeah, I feel the connection to both very strongly. I feel the Zulumovski, I feel the Macedonian heart and soul and passion and beauty. And I feel in the First Nations culture, I feel the spirit, you know, and the connection and the oneness and the universal, you know, connection that goes back 60,000 years. You know, it's the oldest living culture in human history. Yeah. So I feel a connection to both of that, and I try to learn. I try to learn more about that. I try to embody that in my life and in my work, you know, in my life purpose. And if you look at my work, you can see that, you know, when we're working in the justice system, or we're working in the health and mental health, or we're working to improve education or employment, you can see that. That kind of comes through, you know. It's all about culture. It's all about our cultural values, you know, sharing our cultural values, which are good values, you know. They're values around respect and around reciprocity, giving and taking and helping and sharing. You know, the values about responsibility, taking responsibility, especially as men, taking responsibility for family and community, taking a responsibility to commit to, you know, trying to improve ourselves and better ourselves, because living in modern Western society can be very dangerous for men and women. But for men, I believe men more so, because there are less services for men. There are less experts in this area of men's health and men's mental health and men's behavior. There are many women's services and many children's services, but fewer for men. So you find that men, if they fall off track, there's less for them. Yeah. And I don't know if you know, I don't know if you're aware that in Australia, we have a suicide epidemic. Well, I call it an epidemic. We have a suicide problem in Australia, and 8 people every day in Australia commit suicide. Wow. Forgive me, I'm still recovering from COVID. It's day number 31 for me today. Oh. I'm still coughing. So we have 8 people a day commit suicide in Australia, and 7 of the 8 are men. So, you know,
it's amazing.
That means that we need to improve in the area of men's health, men's mental health, relationships, managing things, you know, managing stress, managing separations, managing divorces, managing relationships, managing alcohol, managing, you know, just life for men. Men need to find a purpose. We are driven, you know, we are driven beings, we are driven creatures. If we don't have a purpose, we're going to get driven in the wrong direction. Yes. Some of us, not all of us, not all of us. And some people might not agree with what I'm saying, and that's okay. But in my experience, working with men, you know, for the last 25 years of my career, and my own lived experience, I think it's really important. Yes. Also, the age group, you know, between 40 and 50, you have a high incidence, a high spike in suicide rate.
We are living in the modern world, but actually nothing, it's even getting worse. Eh? There are more people, there are wars again, there are all kind of crime and everything. So we are doing something wrong, definitely.
And that highlights the importance of culture. You know, before the interview today, I was messaging somebody on Instagram, trying to find out where I can get lessons to learn the Tapania, you know. It was hard I want to learn the drum. I want to learn the dance because I didn't grow up with the culture. So, you know, it's important to embrace culture because that's what strengthens you. That's what keeps you together. That's what keeps the families together, the men together, makes you stronger against things like gambling and alcohol and, you know, other addictions or other vices. So the culture is very, very strong. So from my First Nations experience, from Aboriginal Australia's experience, we've seen the effects of colonization. And the British came only 230 something years ago, and we saw the destruction of culture, and then we saw the social fabric, communities being torn apart. And when the culture is torn apart, you know, you have the high incarceration rates, people going to jail, you have the high suicide rates, you have the high mental health, you have the high unemployment, you have high grief and loss, you know, you have a lot of pain and suffering because the culture is lost. So it's extremely important not to take it for granted. If you grew up with the Macedonian language and the Macedonian culture, and you decide to just occupy yourself with, you know, activities and you forget about that stuff, it's going to come back to bite you because your kids are going to grow up. They're going to have no culture. All they're going to have is what? They're going to have Instagram. They're going to have Facebook. They're going to have shopping and putting nice clothes on themselves and nice cars and chasing, you know, boys and girls. That's not culture. This is This is a market that we live in. You know, it's a market, and you have to understand that it's not purposeful. It's not meaningful. It's not going to sustain your spirit and your health, your mental health, and your heart and your soul. That stuff doesn't sustain you. So,
but how was for you, Ken, to grow up in a mixed culture, Macedonian and First Nation Aboriginal culture? How was for you?
it was extremely difficult for me.
Yeah.
Extremely difficult because I never met my father until I was 27. You know,
Oh, okay.
like 27. Like I'm an adult. You know, he wasn't around for my childhood. He wasn't around for my teenage years. He wasn't around through my early 20s. So I grew up without a father, single mom, living in you know, in poverty, in a welfare dependent, you know, living in a housing commission, public housing.
Are you an only child or not?
No. I grew up with 3 other brothers.
Okay. From the same father? Sorry that I asked, but
different father. No, they had the same father. I had a different father. I had a Macedonian father.
Yeah.
Anyway, so it was hard for me growing up because I didn't have a mentor. I didn't have a role model. I didn't have somebody to show me all the things that was necessary to become a man. I had to learn the hard way. I had to look around and I had to make some mistakes and I had to try and find it, you know. So I had like many more obstacles than you might have if you have a father, you know. So yeah, so growing up was extremely difficult, and without the culture you can easily get led astray. You know, if you read my history, you'll know that I was in juvenile court, like a child, like a teenage youth court, a couple of times before I was 17, because I was mixed up with the wrong crowd. What do you do when you're a naughty kid? What do you do when you're a naughty kid? You don't have any guidance. You know, nobody's mentoring you. You hang out with the other naughty kids, right? The naughty kids find each other. The naughty kids find each other. Yeah. And they hang out with each other because they understand each other. They find family and connection with each other. And what do? They misbehave, don't they? They might do drugs, they might do crime, they might do alcohol, they might start stealing things. Yeah. They might start spray painting and graffitiing, they might join a gang, you know? So
you needed somewhere to belong. That's what the kids do.
Yeah, we need someone
a stable grounding in a family. They are searching for something to belong. So you grew up actually, let's say, more like an Aboriginal?
I think I grew up more just like an ordinary Australian. I did have Aboriginal culture, but as I said, you know, colonization the impacts of that in Australia completely destroyed a lot of the culture, right? So we don't know the Aboriginal language of our nation because the process of colonization forbidden them to practice it and to speak it. So they lost it over the generations. They lost it. We lost some of our culture and our law, our spirituality. The missionaries brought in an imported religion, right? And so the religion and culture and law that we had for 60,000 or plus years was forbidden. So, you know, I'll say something contentious and I'll say that Christianity has something to answer to in regards to that.
Yeah.
And no offense to any Christians. I'm an Orthodox Christian and I go to church. But it's wrong what they did.
Yes, yes.
It's possible to have these things side by side. You know, when the Ottoman Empire occupied, you know, Macedonia, you have Turkish mosques.
Mosque, yeah.
You know, minarets, or what are they called? The pole, the height, right? And then you had the Christian churches that were built in the same vicinity. And I understand that the law was that the Christian towers were not meant to be higher than the Muslim ones.
It's still like that.
That's what I was told when I was in Bitola. It's possible to have things side by side, but you know, the colonization process in Australia didn't promote inclusivity. It was very exclusive. It was very let's say racist, and yeah. So that's what happened. So I didn't grow up with a lot of the First Nations culture. You know, some of the listeners, some of the people who watch this might have an idea of what First Nations culture is because they've seen a commercial on tourism, Visit Australia, and you'll see somebody, you know, dancing with a lap and playing the didgeridoo, the wind instrument.
I saw a picture of you dancing.
Yeah, they might think it's that, but it's not that.
Over with some white,
some ochre, painted up with ochre, yeah, paint. So there's a renewal happening, a cultural renewal happening across Australia, where the languages are being renewed and the dance and the law and the customs are being renewed, and that's coming in. So that's a positive thing.
yes.
But we're working really hard to get a lot of that back.
And when did you discover, let's say, or when did you start to live also part of you that is Macedonian? How that, when that happened?
That's a good question, Marina. I think I was about 12, and my nan, my grandmother, she would say to me, she would look at me sometimes, she would say, you're like your father, you're like your father, right? I never knew my father, but she knew my father. Yeah. And I don't know whether I looked like him or I walked like him, or I don't know. And she would say to me, you're like your father. And I would say, no, I'm not. No, I'm not. I'm not like him, you know? And so when I was about 17 years old, I started getting curious. And I remembered I had relatives in Newcastle, relatives of his, other Zulumovskis. And I found them. I went and contacted them, and I said to them, you know, I want to go and visit my father. I want to find out who my father is.
Okay.
I was 17. And so I went and I found Uncle Chris's fruit shop in Bennett's Green in Newcastle. And I went in and I said to him, hey, my name's, you know, Ken Zulumowski. I said, my father was here. I think you know him. I think he's related to you. I want to contact him. Can you help me? And so he gave me a phone number of his house in Bitola. And so I made the phone call to contact him. And I think I got my mother, my stepmother. He was at work, so he didn't answer the phone. I got my stepmother, and she couldn't speak a word of English, not a single word. So that was my experience. You know, I was 17 years old. I made the call. There was a lady on the other side who was speaking a foreign language I'd never really heard before. And then I just dropped it. I went, okay, no, that didn't work.
Wow.
And I thought, yeah. And I just carried on with my life at that stage. And I joined the army. I started working. I did a whole bunch of things. And it wasn't until another 10 years later, when I was 27, that I actually found the curiosity again. The curiosity returned. And I thought, yeah, I need to, I'm a young man now. I'm approaching 30. I have all these questions in my mind about who I am and where I'm from and my roots. And I wanted to enrich my life. I wanted more in my life. I was really, I was curious. So I thought, I've got nothing to lose. I've got nothing to lose. I have an adventure. I'm going to go there. I'm going to find him.
Wow.
I'm not going to tell him. I'm not going to tell him I'm coming. I'm just going to go there. I'm going to go and knock on his door. And I don't know if that's a crazy thing to do or not, but that's just what I felt that I would do. And I did it on my own, all on my own with no support. So that was an interesting part of my life.
How did you feel when the first time you come to Bitola? You went to Bitola? Or?
It was 2002. And it was probably a bit different to what it is now, but it was a culture shock for me. Everything was foreign. I'd never traveled overseas before in my life. I grew up in a, let's say, I don't know, medium-sized town, a small town compared to Sydney. And everything was new. Everything was different. It was older though. Everything was older from coming from Australia. Everything was a little bit older. It looked like maybe second world country to me. I could see that it wasn't a rich country. I could see that people weren't wealthy. People were living happily, but I could see that it was very different to what I was used to. It was less modern. It was less infrastructure. It was less modern, and so
the feeling for you to feel the country of your mom.
You asked me about feelings. I think I turned my feelings off for that journey. Yeah. I think I was in army mode, I was in like task force mode. I think I shut my feelings off and I was just using my head at that stage. So yeah, when you ask me how did it feel, I have to remember back to being there. I think I was excited and I was scared at the same time.
Okay. Yeah.
But I was also really, really eager to learn. I was excited about, just meeting new people, and the experience, it was a mind-blowing experience. I wanted to meet other Macedonians. I was single, so I was, I wanted to meet Macedonian girls as well. And I met some beautiful girls when I was there. I met some beautiful, beautiful Macedonian girls. And the thing that I remember so much is they were so passionate. They were so, like their hearts were just like really passionate.
Yeah.
I remember that.
They're still like that, huh?
They're very much still like that. Yeah. Yeah, they're alive. I love that.
How was it when you can come back to Australia after you visit first time Macedonia? There's something changed in you? It was different, or?
Oh yeah. Let me say as well that the friends that I made when I was visiting, the men and the women, the friends, and they were both very passionate, and I was inspired by the men, because the men were teaching me about the history. They were showing me the old maps of Macedonia. They were saying, you need to know this and you need to know this. And I'm going, really? Like, is that really what happened? And I started to, I started to get passionate as well, about it. And I visited so many places. I spoke to so many people, and my first night in Bitola was in Hotel Epinal.
Okay, yeah.
And there was a gypsy wedding happening.
Oh, wow.
And it blew my mind. It blew
Yes.
my mind because I've never heard these instruments before. The music, you know,
Yeah.
it was all happening. So it was like a cultural immersion. It was like going to another planet. It was an amazing experience for me. You know, I was a kid. I was a young kid. I was a young boy, young man that didn't have a lot of life experience and didn't have a lot of education at that stage. So it was all new. It was amazing.
Yeah, it's amazing, the music. Then
Yeah.
whenever I used to live 17 years in Holland, and when I was there in some Yugoslavian parties, and when I hear the music, something else is coming out. It's just like a lot of passion and power.
Yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. When you hear the tapan,
Yeah.
and the music, it's just, you know, it just lights you up. So that's what I want to do right now. I want to I was messaging to learn how to play the drum.
Ah, okay.
When I was there the first time, when I met my dad, we went and we had a tapan made especially for me, and I had it sent back to Australia.
You made that amazing.
Yeah,
Special
yeah.
for you.
Yeah, I had one made and I sent it home.
Yeah.
But I don't have it anymore. I don't have it anymore.
Are you still in contact with your father? He's alive? Or?
No, sadly, we don't really have much of a relationship.
Okay.
I went there to meet him. I was 27, fully grown adult. And we had some connections for a little while when I came back.
Yeah.
But no, we're like strangers, you know. But I did return the very next year because I didn't tell you that I met a brother I never knew I had. My father, was remarried when he came to Macedonia, and he had a son. And so when I met him, I met my brother I never knew I had, who was a couple of years younger than me. And him and we hung out quite a bit. We did a lot of things together. He took me around everywhere. We went and stayed in Auckland, and we drove around and we visited everywhere. We went to all the bars and clubs, and he showed me Heraclea, and he showed me all the churches and all the artifacts, and we went everywhere together. It was beautiful. So that was amazing. Got some videos. I had an old camcorder, an old video recorder. I had one of those, and I was carrying it around with me. I've got those videos, and they're really, I love to watch them.
It's amazing, eh? So completely different cultures. Okay, if you are, let's say, half Macedonian, half German, it's not so much different, but half Macedonian and half Aboriginal, is that such a huge difference, or there are some similarities? I think in a spiritual way, I think there's not so much difference, eh?
Yeah, you're right. I often say in Australia, the Macedonian community is the soul of this country, and the First Nations is the spirit of it.
Yeah. Oh yeah, beautiful. Yeah.
Because I just see, because of my experience, you know, clearly I'm biased. I just see the beauty of both. They're not all perfect, you know, we know that. But I see the beauty in both, and I see, because of my experience, my personal experience, you know, when I was curious about my Macedonian culture, I started to reach out to family members in Newcastle, and I learned about the blessing of the waters.
Ah.
How do you say it? What's it called?
Sorry?
The blessing of the waters. How
we call it in Macedonian?
Yeah.
I forgot the name.
You know when the cross is thrown in the water?
Oh my God, yeah.
I learned about this, right? I learned about
it. Yeah, I know what you mean. When it's slava, when it's something, when somebody is born, a child, and they do that. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh. I learned about this, and when I learned about it, I decided I was going to go for it. So I was quite new to the community. You know, people didn't know me because I never grew up with them.
Yeah.
But when I learned about this blessing of the waters, I thought, I'm going to go there. I'm going to do this. You know, I'm going to go. I'm going to try and catch that cross. I want in into this community. You know, I want to be part of this. This is where I belong. I'm gonna announce myself.
Да се крстиш. Да те крстат, така?
Yeah.
Yes.
So yeah, I went for it in Newcastle. And you know, the priest is waving the cross around, right? He's faking it the first time. And there's all the men standing around the rock pool. And one man fell in when he faked it. And guess who that was? It was me. I fell in because I was watching him. I was so eager to try to catch that cross. And he went, and I didn't know. Every year, of course, he fakes it, doesn't he?
Yes.
Every year. Fakes it a couple of times, doesn't he? And I didn't know that because I'd never been there before. So I jumped in the first go. Everybody waited while I got out of the water. And then he threw it again. And I leaped for it and I swam for it and I dived down and I got the cross and I picked it up and I like pushed it to the surface.
Okay.
And there's other guys grabbing it, another guy grabbing it, but I had it in the middle. I had it in the very middle, you know. Yes. Another guy grabbed the end, another guy grabbed this end, but I had it in the center and I pushed it to the surface. And then I got to go around and visit all the houses, all the homes, and you know, bless the homes and get the money. And,
beautiful. Huh?
Yeah, that was an amazing experience for me.
That's the rituals. Macedonia are doing much more rituals, let's say, about God and connected with the church, but Aboriginal are doing more for the earth, I think, and for the spirits and for
First Nations culture and law have law and ceremony for every part of life. Yes. Every single part of life. Every piece of food, right? In traditional time is sung. It's sung for its gift to us. Every piece of timber that's used to make a tool is sung and ceremony performed for it, because for its gift to us, you know. Every men's business and women's business. So this is a culture that's completely connected to everything, you know, and sustainable. So it's in quite contrast to, you know, British culture when they arrived. So that was part of the huge problem with colonizations. The cultures were so different, so very different. So it was impossible to have a, you know, kind of a happy medium in that relationship. It was never really going to be, sadly. So, you know, that's another big long conversation.
Yeah. It's similar like the Native Americans.
Very similar. Yeah. Very similar to all First Nations stories around the country, around the world.
And you know what is the contradictory? We call them a primitive, but I don't think so. We are primitive, you know, because people are destroying now everything. I don't know. I think it's more connected. The native people, the First Nation people are more connected to it. Maybe, I don't know, it's what I see.
Well, I'll say one thing. We didn't have to worry about nuclear bombs.
Okay. Yeah.
Did we? So you can make your mind up whether it's primitive or not. That's not for me to judge.
Yeah.
But you know, some people, I'm not going to get into that conversation.
Oh. Okay. One question.
You can make your mind up for yourself. What's right or what's wrong and how you want to live your life.
Yes. It's also different times and everything, and different consciousness. So everything is in the process of changing. But what I wanted to say, that I have a feeling that we are going back. We are not going forward. Something in a consciousness level, because everything what is happening now. But let's keep that on the side. Just you're sitting like that, and if you can imagine your ancestors behind you, Macedonian and First Nation ancestors, where do you belong?
Whew, that's huge to imagine that, Marina. And it's huge in a really positive way, because I know I have my ancestors with me all the time, and I feel that, and I know that I have the Macedonian culture and history and heritage with me, in me all the time. I feel it, and it's incredibly amazing. It's such a powerful thing to have. It's not about, for me, it's not about which one is the strongest. I think I have a perfect balance for me. I have a perfect balance. I think I've been blessed with two cultures that can share a lot with others for the greater good, and that's what I do. That's what I try and do with my work, with my company, with my work through Gamarada, which is a Gadigal word, the local language in Sydney. It means friends or comrades with a common purpose. And my company is called Gamarada Universal Indigenous Resources. And so it's universal because it's applicable to everyone.
Yes.
And it's Indigenous because it's Indigenous led. And resources, it's because, it's what we need. It's to share, it's to help, it's to work with others, so that's really what it's about. It's embodying those cultural values and then developing programs and services and solutions to fix or to enhance things. And I think, if you look around, there's a lot that needs fixing. And we've made a lot of progress, incredible progress, particularly in the last decade, in the First Nations spaces. And I think also in the human spaces, just generally with our focus on mental health, looking after our mental health, being aware of our mental health, looking after one another, being more inclusive to one another, less discriminatory to one another, being more respectful and kinder, and having a less value maybe on material things. The generation that's coming up at the moment, they don't seem to be so focused on money and building wealth. They want to do things for the planet. They want to sustain the planet. They're not all about buying a house and building an empire. They're like, no, let's get together and go and help someone.
Yeah.
This is a good sign that things are changing. Whether their parents support that or not is a different question. There's a conflict of values with the older generation and the younger generation as well, and there always is. But we made a lot of progress.
Will always be a gap between generations, but
yeah.
The work that you do, it's also for companies and leadership, or it's only for people from the First Nation, or no matter, everyone
it's for the Australian government.
Okay.
It's for the programs that the government funds. It's to help the many services that they fund. It's for everyone. It's for not-for-profit services. It's for corporate services. It's for individuals. There are a whole bunch of different products, programs, and services that we create.
And the main purpose is healing, what I read some of, or not?
All of our programs and services are therapeutic. They have our coaching model that we developed, which has Western psychology and First Nations traditions and wisdom traditions. First Nations wisdom traditions. First Nations people knew about well-being. They knew how to balance your mental health. They knew how to be healthy. They knew what the essential ingredients was to make a healthy, whole, fully formed human being, right? Western psychology has things that it can share with us that can help us manage our human problems.
Mhm.
When we put them together, we have an amazing set of resources that we can use. So whenever we develop a program for maybe for youth, or we develop a program for working with people inside the criminal justice system, or we're working with an organization, we're training their staff and how to more effectively engage with community, with Aboriginal community. Whenever we're working with our clients or with our communities, we're using that First Nations led model,
Okay.
which has the therapeutic element. So it's not just about mental health or healing,
Yeah.
but we're using what we've learned in our recovery from colonization to help others and help heal others. There's a lot of trauma, not just in Indigenous communities, you know.
It's more a holistic approach.
Oh, look at the war in Ukraine. There's going to be another generation of traumatized families, you know. There's trauma all over the world, and this kind of work is beneficial for everyone. It's about restoring families. It's about restoring communities. You know, it's about recovery.
Yes.
And culture, like the Macedonian culture or the First Nations Aboriginal culture, is, in my view, the solution. It has it all. I think it has it all.
Yes.
You don't have to go and spend your money on a psychologist. You can if you want to, but if you look at what you have, if you look around, if you're like me and you didn't have a family, you know, mother and father and culture and connection, then you're going to have a really tough time. You got to look harder. You got to go out there and find it. You got to build those networks, build those connections, find someone that you can mentor, that you can follow, do what they do. If you have a family, then you got to look at your culture for, you know, for the solutions to keep you strong. Don't look outward don't look outside for the solutions, you know.
Yes.
You've got them already. You've got to embrace what you have and build that up.
Yeah.
You know,
that's the biggest gift, the family. If it's where you can ground somewhere, where you can belong. We are all loyal to our family somehow. So it's so amazing to be part of something. I'm always saying I'm so blessed that my parents are still alive. You know, that's just really a blessing. Everything starts from the family. So it's very important to stay connected. But also, I find that your mother is an artist. She's a painter.
Yeah, a wonderful painter.
Yeah.
Incredible painter, actually. So much talent. And she doesn't even try. She paints these amazing pieces effortlessly, you know? It's like she's doing other things at the same time while she's painting, you know? She has a real talent there. I wish I inherited some of that.
What are you talented for?
Good question. Nothing. I have zero talent. I have no skills at all.
But you're maybe not talented.
But I hope
skills.
I hope to go and learn the tapan. You're never too old to learn. And I'm going to go and learn the tapan. I'm going to continue to learn the dance, the Balkan. Okay. Yeah, I've taken lessons. I've learned some. I think my talent, Marina, is bringing people together. I think that's what I do. That's what I love to do. I love to bring people together. I think my talent is being able to bring out the best in people. I think my talent might be also maybe inspiring some people, hopefully. I'm not sure. Hopefully. I think, you know, I hope to be a good role model. Maybe that's my talent. Maybe my talent, maybe my gift is how to teach people how to survive.
So it's beautiful. You can still learn how to play tapan, but this is also very useful what you do. It's amazing. your work. How many years? You said more than 20 years you're in this,
at least 25 years.
What you do?
Yeah, no, more than 25 years. I started my work whilst in the military. I was working with our communities while I was in the army. I was working for the Defence Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander recruitment and career development strategy. So I was going to communities and doing presentations with my colleagues in my uniforms, with our Army, Air Force, Navy trucks, with all the recruiting material in there. So, you know, I've been doing this kind of work in different forms for 30 years.
Wow.
I'm 47. I started when I was 17. No, before that, I was a St. John Ambulance cadet when I was 14, you know, like a Boy Scout, but around first aid and first aid duty, you know, carrying a little first aid box and people fainting at the show or people crashing their motorbike in a motorcycle race, doing preliminary first aid or, you know, first aid before an ambulance would come. So I was doing that from the age of 14. So, you know, if you count that type of community service, leadership, you know, working for serving community, then I've been doing it for about 33 years.
Wow. It's amazing. And are you still going to do it? Maybe on a different way?
I'm 47.
Yeah.
And I have mentors. I have mentors in my family, and mentors in our communities that are in their 60s and 70s, and they did their best work after 50. So in the last 25 years of their life, they did incredible things. Like they founded organizations, they led community development, they achieved honorary doctorates or you know, awards of recognition, you know, very high level. You know, they became consultants, they influenced systemic advocacy, they changed policy, they influenced government, they influenced all different sectors. So I've been inspired by these elders and mentors, and I now know that, you know, for the next 25 years, I'm going to do massive things with my life. So I've already done some things, but I think I'm going to do bigger things.
Wow. I'm curious.
And you know what? One big thing I'm going to do, I think I'm going to go to Macedonia and find a Macedonian wife.
After this video, you have it.
No, I'm just kidding. But one of the big things I'm going to do with my life I haven't done yet. I'm going to get married and I'm going to have children.
Yes. I wanted to ask you, how come? You was more for other people, I guess. Eh?
There's that. I just, you know, I had to grow through some personal challenges. You know, I had transformation. I had to unlearn some ways that weren't serving me, you know. I had some patterns of some relationship patterns that weren't healthy. So I got out of them. I had to get out of them quickly because they were destructive. So thankfully I got out of them before things got bad, or I got trapped, or I had children, you know?
Yeah,
so,
I know. We all have that, something like that. But tell me, how is a woman have to be? Not outside, inside.
Oh, that's a dangerous question. You're setting me up.
Soul connection for us. How?
Simple. I like passion. I like strength. I like, she has to be as beautiful on the inside as she is on the outside.
Okay, great mix.
That's a good answer.
But also experienced woman, experienced or something, some lady that it's now curious and doing things, or have to be?
Family values.
Okay, that's important.
Loyalty number one.
Yes, trust and loyalty.
Respect.
But does she have to do a banica? Is that important to know to make banica?
Is that a food?
Banica? Burek?
Yeah.
Oh, she have to
I had some. Also? I had some burek on. Saturday and Sunday. Yeah.
Okay.
So that will be a bonus. That would be a bonus. I can learn. I would like her to teach me how to do these things, how to cook these.
And are you cooking? Do you like to cook?
Share. I'd like to share the culture. That's what's really important to me. Okay. Yes, I'm cooking. I'm a bachelor. I'm cooking, cleaning, shopping, washing. I'm doing everything.
So you are a good man.
That's up to them to decide. Depends who you talk to.
And beside that, everything, you're also a salsa man, eh? You like to dance salsa.
I love dancing salsa. I love dancing salsa. I do. Yeah. And there's some videos that we posted on that I posted on my Instagram. Can I say my Instagram handle?
Of course, you can say, yeah.
Yeah, it's easy. It's just Ken Zulumowski. There's some videos there.
Yeah, great.
Check them out, yeah.
So you're a salsa man, you're a motorbike man, and you like life, I can see from your Facebook profile. You are joy.
Who is your friend I was talking to on the just today? Anita. What's her name? Anita?
Yeah.
She asked me, she said, do you have any children? I said, I have a 3-year-old Range Rover Sport. I have a 1-year-old Harley Davidson, and I have a 2-year-old motor yacht. That's my children.
The expensive children. You have to take care of them.
Well, I don't want to leave anything undone when I die. I want to do everything.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, I did. The first 25 years of my life were incredibly difficult. Yeah. Incredibly difficult. And, I'm lucky to be here. My psychologist said to me, he said, you should be in a park drinking yourself to death for what you've been through. That's what your life set you up for, to be there. Yeah. So I had to work hard. I had to work really hard to get out of that mentality, and to get out of that environment, and to get away from some people. I had to work hard, really hard. I had to do it on my own, and I had to get used to being alone and doing things different, and get used to people not liking you, or trying to pull you back, or trying to pull you down, or trying to, I had to get used to that. So, the first 25 years. So, I don't want to leave anything undone. I want to work hard. I want to have a meaningful life, and I want to have a shit ton of fun at the same time.
But because of all of that, you had it before your first 25 years, you are now who you are because of that. Growing up. Yeah.
You know what's next on my list of things to do? A holiday to Macedonia.
What to do?
A holiday to Macedonia.
Yeah, you're welcome. When are you coming?
That's on my list of things to do.
To read a cup? Do you know?
No. What are you doing? What are you doing?
My future is here.
Tell us. Come on, tell us. What is
this? You drink a Turkish coffee, of course. Yeah. And you don't do this afterwards?
No.
No, you have to come to Macedonia.
I have some lessons to learn.
So when are you coming? What is your plan?
I don't know. I think a couple of months, when it gets a bit warmer.
Yes, it's starting already. So in 1 month, 2 months, it's great. And when was the last time you was here?
2006.
Oh, That's a long time ago.
Yeah, yeah. Look, most of the listeners or the watchers of this program have probably fallen asleep by now or gone off to do other things. But the reason I returned in 2006 was because I met a brother in Australia that I never knew I had.
Wow, amazing.
My dad didn't tell me that there was another one here. But he came to me asking questions, curious. And I told him my story. And then I encouraged him to go to Macedonia and meet his dad. So I took him on the same path that I traveled 5 years earlier to meet his dad. That was 2006.
Amazing, Ken. You know, I think I have, yeah, so I hear it. There are so many difficulties, but there are also some beautiful things happens in your life. So, and you're still smiling, you're still passionate, you still want to experience a lot, and you want to get
I'm
married.
still fighting like a Zulum. I'm fighting like a Zulum.
Don't make Zulum anymore. Just enjoy your life.
I'll try.
Yeah.
Probably be easier to turn the sun off. I'll try. But yeah,
I
you know,
like
there
it
were
very much. Actually, I don't want to take a lot of your time because it's late for you. People know you, people can find you on Google, on your all profiles on LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram. There's a lot to read about your wonderful things you did for your community, and it's a mission that you do, and it's something
mission, huh?
with passion. That's also very important. You can have a mission, but without passion,
it's all here.
Yeah. You feel it, So that's so important that you're also, I see you are so much connected, your mind and your body and your soul and your heart, that's all in one. And that's beautiful to see that.
Well,
yeah.
I just, you know, I just show up. I present, you know, opportunities come and I show up to them. You know, I turn up, I present myself to them. And, you know, when you contacted me and told me about your project, this you know, this program, you know, I know that it's the right thing to do. To say, yes, this is an opportunity. You give me an opportunity to connect to my Macedonian culture and heritage, you know, so I'm grateful for that.
Thank you so much. We are all human, We are all people with emotions and
Yeah, we are.
we are not.
Some of us are a little bit less human than others, but
yeah, they
yes,
are acting.
But we don't give up. We don't give up hope for them.
Yes.
We are. Yeah. Well, you know, God and the ancestors will judge, not me, not anybody else. But I just try to do my best, and yeah, every day, never stops.
Yeah. You're an awakened person. Maybe not now in this time, but I mean, your spirit is awakened. So that's also inspiration for other people to follow also their heart. That's so important because people are most lost somewhere in the material things or whatever, but following yourself and your heart, I think is one of the most difficult things, or not? To be honest to yourself and what you feel.
Yeah. You can't teach wisdom. We have to live life, I guess, to learn. But one thing you can do is you can avoid many life mistakes by understanding how much it would cost you to make certain choices. You know, to think through things properly. But you know, we are humans and we have emotions and we have desires, so we will always make mistakes.
Yeah, but that's why I don't see that for, of course, the damage can be big, but because of the mistakes or feedback, we learn something. Because of everything happens to you.
If you want to learn. Some people don't want to learn.
That's another question. Yes.
That's another big interview.
Yeah.
Why do some people want to grow and learn and other people don't?
That's a philosophical question. It's another video show for that, but that's very interesting, really. Why? I think because of the families that the people grow up and the environment they are.
Well, there are experts in this field, Marina, that can talk about, personality traits and brain chemistry and environmental factors and, biology. There are many different layers all working, simultaneously. And sometimes those layers, they make a really good combination, and sometimes those layers make not so good combination.
Yes.
So there's that.
So that's a huge philosophy, about that. But do you believe in one life or there are more lives?
Oh wow, that's a massive question.
Yes, that's original.
I'll tell you, in First Nations culture, in law, we believe we have a spirit pool, and when we die, we return to the spirit pool, and then we come back something, a little bit like reincarnation, you might say.
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. We'll all find out. We're all going to find out very soon.
So Ken, if
life goes like that, right? Life goes in a flash.
If you don't marry this life, next life. Don't wait too long.
Hey, I'm a patient person. That's one thing about me. I'm a very, very patient person. I will wait years and years and years for the right person. I'll wait years and years for the right car. I waited 5 years to buy my car that I have, I waited 5 years.
I think car is different than a woman, eh? How do you know it's a right woman?
Remember, you're talking to a man now. So this is a contentious question. Oh, there goes my chances of meeting someone. Yeah.
No.
As long as she doesn't slam the door hard,
okay,
and wipes her feet before she gets in. Yeah.
But passionate ladies, women, they do that.
Do they?
Wipe the door and show. So yeah.
They do, don't they? Yeah, that's the dilemma, isn't it? That's the dilemma we have.
You will know, eh? That's because your name said that you are a man with intuition, so for sure you will recognize.
Maybe I don't know. I just know I'm patient. I can wait. I can wait another 20 years.
Oh no, that's
actually no, I can't actually.
That's pity. 20 years. No, that's pity. Life is happening now. Love is now. Everything is happening now. So reach out, eh? To life. Yeah. Yeah, that's the way to do it. To reach out to everything in life. And you already do it with everything. So beautiful. So I think that this video will bring also something special to you. We will see also. So we are waiting.
I feel like I'm having my zodiac reading. This is today's reading for Sagittarius.
Great, Ken. So I really enjoy it very much. And, as I said, you did the wonderful things professionally, what you do, and get also a lot of awards for it. So somebody is seeing and recognizing what you do. So that's also beautiful, eh? To have that recognition.
It helps. It helps. It helps elevate the profile of the programs, of the work, and so people will notice it more.
Yes.
And we can influence, models of healthcare and maybe models of programs. It helps a lot.
Yes.
But thank you, Marina, because I'm pretty sure you volunteer for this project, and I'm pretty sure you do this because of your own passion.
Yes.
And respect for our communities and our culture. So thank you for that. And it's wonderful. People like you, bring people together, help to spread the messages out there. If we all do our little bit, then things will be okay. But we have to all do our little bit.
Yes, we are already okay. Don't you see that? What you do in your life, and also I'm happy the way that it is right now. Can be always different and maybe better, but right now it's the best it can be.
Beautiful.
Yes. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
Good night. And I'm waiting to see a video you dancing with the tapan.
You'll be waiting a little while, but I'm going to get one. I'm going to go and learn the tapania, and I'm going to make a video of playing it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Amazing. And we're waiting for you in Macedonia, that's for sure.
I cannot wait to get back. I cannot wait. The motherland, huh? Yeah.
And what
I'm gonna kiss the ground when I get there.
I forgot to ask you, does your mother ever was in Macedonia?
Mm-mm.
Okay. Interesting.
No.
Yeah.
No, just me.
Life, eh? Strange.
Macedonia can't handle both of us. Only one. Only one of us.
Also, you said you have brother in Australia, but are there more people from the First Nation, mix of First Nation and Macedonia in Australia?
I'm one of six. I'm one of 6 boys.
Special.
And I was the eldest until 2006 when I met the brother I never knew I had. And I took him to Macedonia to meet his dad. The 3 younger ones, they all have the same dad. And they have Aboriginal ancestry. And then they have Anglo ancestry. And then the other 3, well, we all have the same father, which is the Macedonian heritage, but we have different mothers.
Okay. Yeah. Amazing.
But I'm the one in the middle that has the connection to all 6.
Yeah.
So I was blessed with that.
Yes.
Lucky me, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, I got 6 brothers.
Yes, amazing.
Or 5. I'm the 6th one.
Yes, 5. You're not alone. No, that's a great feeling. Eh? Yeah. So thank you again. We cannot stop. I have so many questions, but when you come,
I would be more than happy to come back and maybe focus on a particular area another time, Marina. I'd love to come back and do another interview with you.
Yes, thank you.
We'll see how this one goes first. See if they like it. If they don't, forget it.
To see how much result you will have from this video. Looking for a woman.
Oh, this is my bachelorette video.
Strojnik.
Okay.
I'm the strojnik. You know what is strojnik? So if something come out from this video, I need a new shoes. Eh? That's the strojnik gets new shoes.
I'll buy you 5 pairs. Thanks again. I really appreciate it, and thank you for your wonderful work.
Thank you so much, Ken, and enjoy your evening and keep going. Everything you do is amazing.